have they stopped to ponder for a moment about the exact moment when the gears of the kingdom of heaven shift direction to finally bring to an end of the most difficult season of their entire existence? If in recent hours they felt an unusual lightness, on their shoulders a deep peace they cannot explain with mere human logic, or that undeniable intuition that the heavy weight crushing their chest is being suddenly lifted, a voice speaks from the depths of eternity that this is not some passing thought or an illusion of their mind. They are not hearing these words by some mere accident of fate. This is an urgent, sacred call, direct and holy from a frequency, spiritual and immensely powerful, seeking to connect directly with them. The chosen soul must prepare to hear a life-altering truth, revealing and deeply glorious. The Lord speaks to them with glorious victory and heavenly majesty that their trial is over. God has broken the cycle of pain, and at this very moment their true reward is released, which the Most High has decreed in the heavenly courts above, to end their long desert, the exact way those repetitive patterns of lack, sickness, and sorrow have been completely shattered forever. And the monumental scale of the blessing that comes straight to their hands will leave them completely speechless. Indeed, not even they will easily process or believe the sheer speed and the generosity with which the hand of God will transform their everyday reality. This is not just some word of encouragement written in the book of their existence. It is a decree of freedom, restoration, and the coronation of their destiny, written and signed by the very hand of God, with a firm promise to completely overturn every single year of hidden tears, unseen battles fought in lonely, silent isolation. The sovereign Creator is about to reveal to them an astonishing plan of public reward, carefully designed from the depths of eternity to finally heal their wounds, restore their honor, and lift their life toward a place of peace, abundance, and unbending stability on this land. But they must understand with absolute clarity that this urgent warning of divine timing cannot be received halfway, with rushed doubt or hesitation, nor with superficiality. Every second they spend listening to this message holds a spiritual code that the Most High God wants to deliver for their alignment from this very moment. Subtle clues point to the exact cycle heaven has just broken in their lives, revealing details unfold about the blessing that will soon cross the threshold of their home. The precise reason why the Lord allowed this trial to last until this strategic moment, and the deep truth why they must keep their spirit tuned to the highest frequency of faith. Perhaps they now wonder with deep uncertainty which area of their life the Lord is addressing, whether it means ending the cycle of financial stagnation that kept them bound, breaking the chains of loneliness, or walking away from toxic relationships that drain their heart, or complete healing of a physical and emotional struggle that seemed to have no escape. To truly understand it all, what the Lord wants to tell you today, and deciphering with absolute precision the vastness of this reward that is being released for you, is absolutely vital and crucial that you hear this divine message from the very first second to the final moment, without interruption. Missing a single moment of this sacred revelation will make you lose your connection directly with the chain of divine signs that higher forces have carefully put in motion for your deliverance. The energy in the spiritual world is shifting right now with an overwhelming force that cannot be stopped, and the manifestation of your reward is now speeding up faster than your own human mind can fully process. But this sacred design demands unwavering faith, unshakable, a peaceful spirit, and your deepest focus. Do not let the empty distractions of the 8E world, the voices of doubt, or the bad habit of scrolling quickly past these screens rob you of the divine chance to be ready to take full possession of your inheritance. The veil of mystery covering the blessings of this new season will be revealed step by step, detail by detail, and layer by layer in the coming parts of this message, where your true value will be honored and the mockery of those who doubted, those who said your life would never change. Always remember that the holy Word of God brings light, peace, and complete fulfillment only when you have the spiritual maturity and patience to listen until the end. Skipping this moment is not just ignoring a random video. It is ignoring the announcement of the Almighty confirming that your darkest night, the desert, is now left behind, and the sun of their victory is just risen in this deeply sacred, urgent and unique moment, while the eternal vibration of destiny seeks to activate their restitution. They must quiet their mind, clearing all weariness of the soul, never turning their gaze away for a second. They gently tap the heart icon or save this message right now as a pact of faith, unbreakable, to align their vibrational frequency with that of the Most High, to officially activate this covenant of blessing and clear the way for the powerful revelations about to be revealed regarding their true reward. They leave a comment here below, writing with complete conviction and spiritual authority the following words: "My trial ended. The cycle broke, and I received my reward from God. Their faithful devotion and constant presence starting from this very moment to the last second is the only spiritual key to unlock the prophecy that will break every chain of delay and secure the arrival of the abundance that has just been decreed for them. Their confirmation has now been recorded in the book of eternity, the exact same millisecond they aligned their heart with this truth. By writing those words, the bronze locks that held back their progress shattered to pieces in the heavenly realm, and the decree of release has become completely irreversible." They breathe deeply once more, clearing away their fears, because right now the first veil is lifting to fully expose a truth that their rational mind never dared to dream. The cycle God has broken was no simple setback. Along the way, it was a structure of spiritual stagnation silently affecting their finances, peace, and emotions. The chosen soul must prepare, because these divine clues will open their eyes and reveal how the Creator turned the fire of their trial into the crown of their greatest triumph, reflecting for a moment on those bitter seasons when they felt utterly trapped inside a dead-end maze where every single time they took 2 steps forward, an unforeseen blow dragged them back 3. They grew used to this endless, exhausting struggle to see only tiny results, watching their projects fall apart halfway through, watching promises of help vanish into thin air as deep anxiety and pain kept knocking relentlessly on their door. Time and time again, it became an endless, repetitive cycle. A brief moment of peace followed instantly by yet another storm, threatening to destroy the tiny progress they had built. They had to weep in the silence of their room, swallowing their pain to avoid worrying the people they loved, clinging to faith with all they had, even as they felt their inner strength completely fade away. They wondered so many times if they were under a permanent shadow, or if God had forgotten the prayers they cried out to Him at dawn, while they tried to keep their dignity and grace, protecting the purity of their soul in the midst of refining fire. The Lord measured in the heavens each single drop of their endurance. God saw they never surrendered their core principles, nor did they grow bitter against heaven, and that they kept their integrity even without seeing visible answers. Did they ever sadly wonder if their entire life would be an endless battle? But honestly, did they really know that the longest and most brutal trials are reserved solely for the souls who will bear the weight of the greatest rewards in the kingdom? They should pay close attention to this next divine sign, because it will make their heartbeat with a rhythm of deep emotion, awakening a powerful certainty deep within their spirit about the nature of this shift. The Almighty tells them today the trial is over because your faith has been approved. God has decreed the absolute bankruptcy of the cycle of lack and of instability. The reward heading their way is not just some temporary relief to get by. It is a package of total restoration designed to elevate their entire story and that of their descendants. On the financial level, they will see how business doors open that were once locked tight with ancient chains. Unexpected income will arrive that wipes out the debts, stealing their peace of mind, activating new sources of steady supply that won't depend on this world's crises. On the level of health and mind, a deep peace surpassing all understanding will banish their sleepless nights, anxiety, and physical exhaustion accumulated during the trial. And in their relationships, the fake friends will be replaced by pure, loyal connections and sacred bonds that bring shelter to their lives. The world around them usually judges only by what it sees on the surface of their trial, by their moments of hardship or the years where he saw them struggle without seeing any fruit. Others will tell them to settle for living, with barely enough advising them to lower their expectations, measuring the possibilities of their future by their past failures and falls. And even they themselves worn out by the long wait have felt the fear of ever hoping again to avoid suffering another disappointment. But the eyes of men are infinitely blind and limited. God is not bound by the verdicts of earthly logic or the circumstances of the moment. When the Creator proclaims the test is over, heavens open, the earth yields its fruit, and what took decades to manifest happens in the blink of an eye. They are being called to embody the testimony of a divine restoration where the years, the locusts and caterpillars devoured, are returned to them, multiplied in blessing and honor, just as written with fire in the book of 1 Samuel 16:7. For the Lord does not see as man sees, for man looks at what is before their eyes, but the Lord looks at the heart. The Creator has seen the faithfulness of their heart in the midst of the trial. For that very reason, this decree to break this cycle weighs today more than all the years of anguish they had to endure. They must grasp the magnitude, weight, and extreme urgency of this moment chosen. So, this is no passing enthusiasm or temporary illusion, nor is it a random coincidence, but a firm decree of sacred liberation and ultimate enthronement that has entered its phase of physical manifestation. Their time of suffering and anonymity, those dark days in which they felt their life was a struggle in futile struggles and the heavy burden of fighting the current, are now being completely eradicated by the unfolding of this celestial order. The divine universe is now orchestrating news contracts and the calls and encounters in such a perfect way that in a very short time, they will witness God's rich reward flooding their home. What once seemed like an endless desert will soon become the spring of their greatest testimony. Therefore, as a chosen soul, they must lift their head with the dignity of royalty. They must shed spiritual mourning clothes and cast away once and for all any mindset of defeat. The hour of their affliction has expired. The Father addresses them today in the robe of honor and favor. They must prepare their heart to receive this divine abundance without guilt. They should arrange their home with the joy of one who knows celebration is coming, and praise clothing their spirit with the authority of conquerors. They must prepare to see how those who mocked their faith or counted them defeated in the trial will have to watch in silence their rising to stability, distinction, and honor to which they will be lifted directly by the hand of God. Yet this revelation has only begun to scratch the surface. The exact reason why this divine reward will bring permanent rest to their family and how they will know the first blessing has arrived is the next truth that will shake their spirit. They must not look away, diving without hesitation into what comes next. The divine decree has been sealed and written in the books of eternity, and at this very moment, the energy, the invisible force wrapping their being, accelerates to a speed with no turning back. They breathe deeply, filling their lungs with peace because the next veil of mystery is now lifting to reveal to them the spiritual dimension of this final breakthrough. While they struggled to carry heavy burdens, exhausted by daily battles in the courts of heaven, the file of their testing closed. They were found faithful in little, releasing the reward of abundance upon this chosen soul. They watch how the Most High's divine strategy unfolds to crown the patience of the chosen. God waited for the exact moment when their spirit was completely free of pride and arrogance, so that when wealth, peace, and powerful testimony reach their hands, they will know how to manage abundance with wisdom and humility. This cycle God shattered was a chain of generational pain that didn't just affect them, but was meant to reach their children and their descendants. By standing firm in faith, they broke that line of scarcity forever. The reward they receive today acts as a seal of heavenly guarantee. They will see projects that were stalled for years begin bearing massive financial blessings almost overnight. People with great authority in the physical world will seek their talents to partner with them as a shield of protection wraps their homes so no evil can ever touch their wealth or health again. It is just like the fulfillment of the prophetic scriptures, which declare that when the Lord restores his people, the captivity of his people, they became like those who dream, and their mouths were filled with laughter and their tongues with praise. It matters not how deep the dark pit where they once felt trapped, or how many losses they suffered along the way, or how difficult their current situation seems from an earthly perspective. The light of divine decree is an unstoppable divine force that shatters every massive wall in a single moment. This spiritual truth remains forever etched in the sacred pages of history within the Psalm 139 verses 7 through 10. Where can I go from your spirit? Or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, behold, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there, your hand will hold me. They and their reward rest under the protective shadow of that very same right hand. No power exists on earth or in the darkness that can ever block the blessing the Creator has sent forth to their lives on this day of deliverance. They do not need to worry, nor rush to make desperate moves in their own human strength, nor try to guess the ways of God as a chosen soul. All that is required is to remain in a state of peace, to cultivate gratitude in the secret place and receive the miracles that will begin to manifest with the serenity of those who know they, backed by the King of Kings. Their attitude of rest is the spiritual magnet that draws these miracles into the visible realm. They have waited patiently in the fiery crucible of testing, enduring rejection from those closest to them, and proving their deep, unwavering loyalty. But God is using this message to deliver an elevation that will instantly erase every memory of pain. He is making everything they have sowed with tears in the past turn into the greatest harvest of joy in their history. This is the visitation of favor, most magnificent, the delivery of reward, sweetest and most deserved, which was designed exclusively for them, preparing their heart to witness how the signs of this blessing become tangible in their daily life so imminently. They will feel physical relief immediately in their body. The calls or reply messages they have so awaited will begin to arrive, and an absolute certainty will reassure them that the promises of God are yes and amen. The time of the wilderness of uncertainty and weeping in the night has closed in an irreversible way, and the era of rest, abundance, and the manifested glory has begun. They keep their focus high, protecting their space from negative influences and watching with absolute attention, because the ultimate turning point of their story is now just moments away from being revealed. They must not be distracted for what comes. Next is the visible crowning of the child who passed the test. They are about to witness with their own eyes how the Most High God transforms every single one of their past battles into the pedestal of their greatest victory, abundance, and public honor, leaving anyone who ever doubted their future completely shocked, speechless, and astounded by the majesty of His divine plans. For a long time they had to learn by force how to walk by, blindly finding comfort in promises from the Creator, when everything looked completely bleak, and trusting that the divine God's faithfulness would not leave their life in ruins. And they often wondered during their lonely nights when the day would come when they could breathe in peace, free from burdens, safe with the promise of prosperous future. Today, the divine answer appears before them with absolute clarity. Before them, the Lord was preparing the perfect stage to grant them a reward so profound that it erases the memory of all past pain. This is a level of deep joy, favor, and restoration that surpasses all human capacity, proving beyond doubt that when God decides to break a cycle of testing, the blessing He grants is unbreakable. When the time of trial ends and the divine reward is decreed from the heavenly throne, every single trauma and fear, lack and sorrow of the past are swept away by a wave of grace and abundance that leaves them literally breathless. This divine promise, infallible and eternal, stands written with holy fire in the book of the prophet Isaiah 60:22. I, the Lord, in own time will make it happen quickly. They hear this truth with absolute clarity and engrave it deep within their spirit. In due time, meaning in this precise moment of their journey, He will make their divine reward manifest swiftly and spectacularly. And when they have managed to keep their faith and integrity in the fires of affliction, God does not delay a single second to unleash the total fullness of His blessings upon their home. The life they begin to walk from this very day forward will not be darkened by the fear of scarcity, nor by instability or the threat of failure, but by the solidity of divine provision and their unshakable joy. Those who predicted ruin or who mocked their faith will be forced to witness how the Creator establishes them in a position of honor, prosperity, and unbreakable joy. They can picture the deep peace and the indescribable relief that fills their soul when they rest fully in this fulfilled promise. Their finances will rise with strength. Their plans will receive the boost and blessing of heaven. The health of their body and mind will be completely renewed, and their home will become a sanctuary of laughter, peace, and shared abundance. They will walk through the same places with heads held high, clothed in the dignity of a child, crowned by the King of Kings, knowing the Most High Himself was who broke their cycle of pain, clothing them in glory. Those who saw them suffer in insignificance or in their isolation will be completely paralyzed upon seeing the light, the strength and great joy with which they move today. They will secretly wonder what the secret behind their transformation was. But the answer was already written in the heavens. It was the Most High's reward for His chosen soul. Their patience in trials has been the spiritual key that unlocked the storehouses of heavenly glory. And God is using this moment to restore their honor, perfectly fulfilling all that He declared in Isaiah 61:7. Instead of their double shame and disgrace, they will rejoice in their inheritance. Therefore, in their own land, they will possess double honor and have perpetual joy. The very years they had to endure stagnation and the humiliation and silent sadness are being repaid at this very moment with a double portion of authority, pure peace, and perpetual joy as they receive this sacred revelation. From today, anxiety leaves their life forever, and a steady prosperity becomes their permanent state. The decisive action that the Most High will take for their life will be swift and unforgettable. They will see the shadows fall before them. They will receive answers they so desperately sought in prayer, and they will witness the exact moment their life takes the definitive step toward the glorious new chapter of their victory. Once this transformation is fully visible in their reality, as they open their heart to this promise, they will feel an immense, indescribable wave of heavenly peace washing over every fiber of their being, instantly erasing every trauma, every scar, and every memory of pain from the past. Their long season of testing and affliction has ended forever, giving way to a season of rejoicing, abundance, and the most radiant fullness, deeper and happier than they ever experienced. This is the crucial moment, sacred and crucial for them to consolidate and seal their covenant with the victory of their destiny. They must write at this very moment in the comments section, with all the strength of their spirit, this declaration of faith. My trial is over. The cycle is broken, and I receive my reward from God. By writing these words, they are sending an irrevocable decree to the spiritual realm that they are completely ready to receive the fullness of their inheritance and the miracles that God has prepared for them without doubt or fear. They must not keep this truth to themselves. This message should be shared immediately with those souls who need to remember that God breaks cycles of pain and rewards His chosen ones. And subscribing to the channel continues to feed their spirit with the light of heaven. May the peace that surpasses all understanding, eternal protection, and the invincible love of God Most High always cover, guide, and fill with joy, ineffable every step of the chosen soul in this bright and glorious new chapter. No.